All right. On this week's episode of the MentalEdge Podcast, your host,
Fernando Lopez Jr.
and Jay Wakasey, get to talking with Sensei
Tony Milevsky.
That's how you started. He told. So I just found out the story how he started karate.
Did he? Okay, let me have it.
Oh.
What was her name?
Are we on?
What was her name?
You're going.
We're definitely
Tony.
going.
Are we on? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're
Wrong.
So he said, "What was her name? How'd he get started? What was her name?" It honestly, it wasn't a female. It was I think he told me in a barbershop, right? You were getting a haircut when someone asked you to join karate.
Frank Bova.
So there we go. He's name dropping already.
Right. He was my
Frank.
barber.
He was your barber.
Yeah, and that was in Hobart, and I lived on Montgomery Street at that time.
Nice.
And his barbershop was right there around the corner. And I went to get a haircut, and he was in the back. It's just a small barbershop. And I goes, "Right, where you at?" He goes, "I'm back here." And he's lifting weights.
Wow.
Okay.
Was he a big, strong guy?
He's a pretty good-sized guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, gosh, I wish I could. If I probably wouldn't recognize him now because it's been so many years. And anyway, I was out of the service, a couple of children. I was always in sports and school. Mm-hmm. Very active. I also worked 2 and 3 jobs my whole free life.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he said, he's doing something. We're both like stagnating, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, "Well, you know what?" I goes, "I boxed a little bit." One of my stepfathers I had, who I at one time thought was my real father, but that's another story. And
It has so many similarities. That's crazy.
Sure do. You guys sure do.
so he knew Tony Zale.
Yeah.
And I used to watch boxing, and he'd teach me how to box a little bit. And I used to beat my cousin up, Jerry. Whenever we go visit his sister, we go down on the bait. I know I'm getting off the subject.
No, you're not getting off the subject.
Yeah, that's what happens.
This
Okay.
is
Okay,
perfect.
so
This
we
is
went-
absolutely what we want to
Go
hear.
visit his sister, and it was boring when I went there. But then when he got there, and then he goes, "Okay, you guys go downstairs in the basement and play."
What was his sister's name?
Yeah,
We found.
Forgot
I guess
that
it
out.
was. It was a
My-
female.
See,
My
there's always
stepfather's-
women at the center.
That's right. There's always ladies in the middle of my trouble.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, he didn't.
my stepfather's sister. I can't remember now because this has been a long time.
Yeah.
And so when we go in the basement, we put the boxing gloves on.
Right.
And then when
Wow.
you run a pond, you just beat each other to death with it. You know?
Yeah.
How do you like them apples, Cousin Frank?
And they were up there drinking.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Hungarian family drinking and eating and all
Yeah.
that stuff and get rid of the kids. So that's how I started that way. So he said, "You know what, Frank?" He goes, "There's a gym over there in Gilroy. It's by the Indiana University. Over there. There was a gym there. There was a football field. Everybody would go down there. And then there was a boxing club in there.
Okay.
Underneath the bleachers. It might have been called the Gary Boxing Club.
Gary
that's-
Powell. Gary Powell. Very popular.
That's probably
I know.
it.
I know where it's at. It's still
Might have been that.
Yeah.
So
A lot of great boxing
we
out of
went
that
down
place.
there, and I was working the steel mills then.
Yeah.
He was a barber. We went in there, and we watched him and everything. And he said, "What do you think?" I said, "I don't know. I guess I got to go to work, get razzed. Got 2 kids.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah, I don't know." And then Frank goes, "Well, there's a karate school down
Wow.
there." He goes, "Karate? What's that? Never heard of that in my life. Karate. I said, "You want to go down there?" "Nah, I don't want to go there." "Well, I'll check it out." So I went down there. And I'm not naming the name of the school. I went down there, looked at it. I was impressed. I never saw it before. It was something different.
Yeah.
It wasn't getting a black eye. You had to have
Yeah.
control and all this stuff. Well, then I got in there, and then it was a whole different story. So I had 2.5 years in something that I wasn't learning anything.
Is this 65?
Yeah, it's
1965?
1965. Yeah. Yeah. He was. What was the style then? What was that called? Just karate.
Well,
I didn't.
it
know.
was called Goju.
Okay. I just
So
wanted
I
to make
was
sure 'cause there's
studying
different
Goju.
styles. I'm learning this.
Sure,
Yeah.
me too. Yeah, I get it.
So I was learning Goju, but
Not learning Goju.
yeah, well, I thought I was, and
Okay.
they even had me teaching, and I wasn't even a teacher. So then we went to a tournament in Chicago, and then it was being sponsored by Sojoyo Sugiyama. It was sent here from Japan to introduce karate, the way the Japanese do it. Yeah. Shotokan Karate. So we went to that tournament. I got beat up in about 15 seconds. Wow. And I thought, okay, I don't know anything. And my friends too, we 3 of us went, and we all agreed. And that's how I started going. So I asked one of those gentlemen who beat me up. Yeah. And I said, who's your instructor? He goes, that's him over there. So we went there, and then Sugiyama said, come one day and visit class. So we went up there, but we went up in the afternoon. There was no class, but he was up there. Wow. So Karl Milevsky was my friend. He just passed away 2 years ago. We went up there. The other guy didn't want to go because he's seen it was a very strong style.
Yeah. When you say strong, Tony, can you elaborate a little bit? When you say strong, do you mean it was just aggressive and demanding?
Not aggressive. It's just precise.
Huh.
It was
disciplined, right?
So focused like a laser.
Yeah.
When the punch came out, like they point, I go, I don't even know what happened. Point?
Dang.
Yeah. Because it's non-contact. But
right.
But you end up having contact because you have accidents always. So when they did, that point that just impressed us, like, wow, we don't even know what happened, and we don't know what we're doing. So we went up there, and it was really funny because we already knew this. So we went up the steps of this dojo. It was on Bryn Mawr in Chicago, right there just before you go into Sheridan, going up to Northwestern. Mm-hmm. And it was right next to the L. And we went up the steps up there to meet Mr. Sugiyama, and kind of like what happened was we went up there and he goes, well, I tell you, it was Milevsky and Milevsky. He goes, I tell you frankly, Mr. Milevsky and Milevsky, you know absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. It kind of like hits you, but you already knew that's why you were coming, but it was, his English was not good. Mine ain't so great either. But his English, you absolutely know nothing,
Yeah.
And we go, okay, that's when he goes, if you want to train, you have to be here so and so dates.
Wow.
Or I won't train you. Okay. So we did train. We started training with him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going from here to Chicago?
Yeah, going from here to Chicago and working in the steel mills too.
Yeah.
And the shift works.
Yeah.
And we never had a karate school yet. It was just Carl. We were in this school. But Sugiyama said, so we're going to quit. He goes, no, don't quit.
Wow.
I was like, why? He goes, one day you might open a school. He goes, ask. So you train a while here with me. Then you ask the person who's owning the school. He's passed away also. He goes, ask him if you can teach Shotokan Karate. It was before he asked, what days are you teaching? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, free class was at his dojo. He goes, we have Tuesdays, Thursdays. Nothing's happening, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're smart.
Yeah.
He goes, ask him if you could teach Tuesdays and Thursdays Shotokan Karate.
Right.
Instead of Goju-Ryu. And he goes, he will do it because he's a businessman.
Yeah.
Well, we did that. He said, yes. So we're doing that. We're doing that.
Yeah.
Now people were coming. Remember, I said there was a difference. Mm-hmm. Then people were, and we were not black belts yet.
Okay.
We were training. Now, this is when we went on. Yes. When we were brown belt, he was talking about this.
Okay. So you already put in some time.
Yeah, we put some time. We had to know.
Sure.
We didn't get it by
absolutely.
verbally. You know what I'm saying? So this time was there. So we were teaching. Now students started coming from the Monday and Wednesday coming into our class.
Uh-oh.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is. He's happy because he's making money.
Yeah. He's still the sponsor.
It's all
anyway.
about money. Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm glad that we are getting to listen to some amazing stories with Tony. Yeah. And if you guys just tuned in to the MentalEdge Podcast, I'm Fernando Lopez Jr.
I'm Jay Wakasey.
And we are sitting here with what I would like to consider a living legend, Tony Milevsky, 7th
Welcome to this episode of the MentalEdge Podcast Series. And
interview with Sensei Tony Milevsky.
He's very humble, so he's not anything I
I
say
can
really
see
nice
that.
about
He's
him.
very meek.
Yes,
I don't
he
know.
is not going. He does not like that. So I'm not gonna stay
You're
too
making
long
me
on
squirm.
that. I'm not gonna stay there too long. But
Yeah, we
but
won't.
what I do want to let people know, let our listeners know, people that are joining, is that this is a seventh dan. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Yes, in Shotokan Karate, the style of Shotokan Karate, and you heard a little bit about what he was talking about. He's been in working at this martial arts since 1965 and 1967, if I'm not mistaken, with the Shotokan Karate.
Yeah, I was with Mr. Sugiyama in 1967.
Yes, yeah. I love that when he talks about his teachers.
Yes.
There's a lot of respect there.
Yes, I can tell.
When I talk to Tony, and the reason I don't want him to be uncomfortable is because I have a lot of respect for him.
Yes.
And, I love this man, so he's a mentor in my life, and I really wanted to capture a lot of his story and a lot of the things that
I can't wait to
does.
dive in.
Yeah. So that's kind of I how long have you been by Little Caesar's Pizza and the chiropractor?
11 years now.
Okay, so I've known him a little over 11 years.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a chance to experience his dynamic way of teaching and talking, So
Yeah.
I've been around where, he'll show me a block. I got the chance to experience that before.
Yeah.
And I thought my wrist broke. And
Yeah.
and he's like, I didn't even do nothing, So and then I've got to experience the other side of him where it's, he does a lot of listening, and then a man of when he does say something,
Profound, right?
yes, super profound. So I love that about him. And he's known in this region because he's been around for a very long time. When did you start your school? Your personal, or when did you start training? Was it in the 70s or early 70s?
Well, 67. But
Yeah,
I mean,
67.
I training all the time. I always train. It's training to this day.
Yeah. He's a true martial artist.
Yeah.
I jam finger from last night.
I'm starting to believe that there's a reason why that Little Caesars has never been robbed.
Yeah.
Now,
We
which
know.
one you want to rob? No, not the one that's at a crowd.
not next to Tony's.
Actually, you're wrong, Jay.
has
It was
been.
robbed.
Hey yo, T-Money, check it out, man. I want to rob that Little Skeezers tonight. You game?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but listen, man, we should probably wait till that karate guy go home, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, dude, that's crazy. Of course we gonna wait till he go home. He get off at 9.
Well, they probably said, let's do it when that school ain't open.
And that's the whole thing. Well, of course, I couldn't stop.
Where were you guys?
I wouldn't stop a robbery. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's funny,
I
though.
can't go in and
Good
fight
one,
bullets
Jay.
or anything. But it was just I think it was around 9:30 at night, Little Caesars was robbed. This a few years ago back. I can't remember what day. But I go, son of a gun, I just left.
Yeah, I say your school closes at 9. I saw on your
Well,
website.
you're right.
They cased the place.
But I
They're
had
like,
nothing
let
to do
him
with
leave.
me. Had nothing to do with me. But they were robbed once, and I thought,
hard to
well,
believe.
even my own stuff. I know we're jumping off the subject.
No,
you want to
we're-
go back
we're
to?
good.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
back
yeah.
to Sugiyama, and I'll get back to that part. What you just talked about.
No,
Yeah.
I want you to finish this.
Remember
one.
that, because I'll forget. I'm 78 years old. Okay, I'll forget
No,
that.
you won't forget.
You won't forget. Yeah, I would just.
I have these senior moments. Believe me, I do. Sometimes I do this in class. So, Sensei, you said, you're right. Sometimes the
me
monkey
finish
falls
that.
out of the
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't- So I'm the monkey today.
Yeah.
So now where are we at? It made me forget.
No, I'm sure Fernando is great. He's the king of the segue. We're gonna roll right into some good what
Yeah.
the kids call content.
Well,
Okay.
The part that kind of got me right there from everything he said the monkey fell out of the tree, but I remember a story where a flying squirrel fell out of a tree.
Oh, my. Yeah.
And this guy nurses animals back to health.
What?
Yeah.
I need you got to tell me about
Okay,
that
we're
story.
gonna jump on another story.
I need to hear that one. Listen, Jay never
I
heard
like
that
to
one.
finish other stories, but I guess I can't. Here.
You'll be back.
We'll be back.
Well, okay, I hope I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
How did the squirrel come into
Let's
your
see,
life?
maybe 5, 6, maybe about 6 years ago. When I lived at that other home I had, and we had a really bad storm where it was like snowing, and it was like you had to, if you went out there, you might remember what year it was. I don't. You go out and you take off six inches of snow, and you go back, and an hour later you got 6 inches again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of snow. So, but I had a little Yorkie then, Koji, and that's This orphan dog.
Okay.
I got him hit by a car and found him. But anyway, he have to go bathroom, so I have to keep his place I went. I keep doing it. Was all blocked in off the deck. And I have to go out and shovel it. And then I went out there one time and went and I was shoveling. I'm knock off about 6 or 8 inches of snow, and there's a little fuzzy tail there. Now, I have a pet wild chipmunk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Ground squirrel, whatever they call them. I had one I fed peanuts. He'd come and crawl on my head. And one day I was just...
We do have some video footage.
I have to go back into that part of the story to get into the flying squirrel.
Yeah.
Because the chipmunk was first.
Okay.
Sure.
I didn't know that, but go
Okay.
ahead.
Yukon Noichi, I called him. It means brave one.
Brave one. I love it.
Nice.
Because I went out and had a cup of coffee and I went out on the deck in the morning, summertime. Then, so winter isn't coming. Summertime. And I had my feet crossed like that on a thing, and I was reading my Bible, and it was kind of a little windy. And so if the wind would go, the pages are thin on a Bible, and it'll flip. So I was sitting there, and also there's this little chipmunk come up on my legs. I goes, wow. All right, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like talking to him, not moving. I'm thinking, because I don't want to scare him. I want to enjoy him. So I'm watching him, and then the page went, and he took off.
Oh, sure.
So I thought, son of a gun, though. But he came to me, so I'm going to get him back. So peanuts in the shell.
Yeah.
So then I started going out there with peanuts. And eventually what happened, to make a long story short, he started coming up, and I'd put him all over. I put him in my ear, and he'd go up, and he'd get him, and he'd run to where he went. I knew where he was going. I watched, and he'd go.
Yeah.
He'd store him. Then he came running back for more, and it's so cute. And pretty soon he's like up here, and he's got putting those chipmunks in his. He's got three shells in his mouth. They're sticking out. But what was neat is I was watching the little not fingers, paws, but it was like really cool.
Yeah.
So he became my friend. Okay, so he would come up and he would cluck like this. Now try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that. So I started calling him.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, because I used to do this with the birds too.
Yeah.
I used to do the cardinal. But anyway, I go, he clucked back, and I goes, okay, come here, Noichi, come here. So pretty soon he started coming like, Lassie, come home.
Wow.
Dang, that's crazy.
Now, it's just like, we have this recorded. I showed
Junior
you.
told me that.
Yeah, so we have that on video, rather. So he would come in the morning. My wife would be upstairs. We had the bigger house, and he'd be on the rail clucking. She goes, "Your buddy's calling you. He wants to eat."
Wow, isn't that crazy?
I come down, and that's the same thing. Now, so the little story about that. No, they hibernate in the winter. So now, winter, I'm over here doing this snow, and I brush it off, and I see the furry tail. I thought,
on the deck, Tony? Like
yeah,
in the area where you're cleaning?
on the
yeah,
ground.
area where you're cleaning.
Because I'm making a place for my dog to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And when I brushed this away, I saw the funny little brown tail, and I thought, what the heck? You're supposed to be in the ground. What's the matter?
Right.
And I had a big evergreen tree. Evergreen tree there, and he scooted through. It was a lattice, and he went through the lattice and went underneath this big tree. And I was a son of a gun. Because it was really cold out.
Yeah,
I thought, he ain't making it, and there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So, a few hours later, I went out there, did it again. He was there again. What it was I fed the birds, and the bird seeds were falling down, and they were in that ground, and it was underneath there.
Yeah.
Trying to
that's where he was
survive.
getting it.
It was a flying squirrel. I didn't know that. So
wild.
When I did that, and it goes, that tail's bigger than that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get a towel real quick.
Yeah.
Went in the house, got a towel, and I captured him that way. And I got him in.
Because you're worried about him. You're worried about his well-being.
Yeah.
Right?
So he ended up, I had a student, Terry. She was a police officer from LaPorte, and a posse. She rode a horse. She gave me a big,
I remember her.
big cage.
I met her.
And I built a house for him. I went out, got a tree branch. And he had it made. A little potty area.
He spoiled him.
He had everything, but he was nocturnal. So at night, when I go to bed, I just watched him. Just have a little light on. He'd be busy. And they got a little big like a bungee cord like thing.
Yeah.
I went to Walmart, bought a little reindeer and cut his reindeers off so it gets something like looks like him.
Oh yeah, that's
And
cool.
he hung there and he ran and he played and he did all this stuff.
Yeah.
So long story short is spring's coming. I'm going to turn him loose. But
Yeah.
a neighbor of mine, I didn't know she was in DNR, and I was telling her about him. She goes, Tony, you're not supposed to have that. And I goes, yeah, but she goes,
He needed me.
You got to turn him loose.
Yeah.
So then I went and I went to the vet, and then I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah. He goes, well, we got one there. We'll turn him loose together. He goes, what do you put him in? How's he doing? He goes, I just got a cage. And I thought, no, man, he ain't getting mine. He's got a beautiful home. I didn't really want to turn him loose.
Yeah.
Then came summer. My wife and I and Terry gave us one of those boxes. You watch to see if there's pets coming in your yard. She let me set that up, and I took his. I bought a bluebird house, and I made the hole a little bit bigger so he can go in his hole. Yeah. It's within his cage.
Right.
So I took that out, went up with a big long ladder way up in that big old tree. I put it up there. That's his little house. I put his water bottle.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
This guy had to do
I
it.
just had to do that.
I love it because you still got him, but you don't have him.
Exactly. I want him to stay in my yard.
Hey, he's a free squirrel.
Well,
He's really mine.
She told me that they're a lot. Them in the area, and sometimes at night when you ever see something flying through the air.
Yes,
that's probably the flying squirrels.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
So
sometimes I see something kind of fly by me kind of fast, and I'm like, man, a bird out this
what
late.
Was that?
So we put them in there, and we put when we turned them loose, we got our lawn chairs out. Me and my wife, we put them out. It was dark, and I cut him loose up there, and it was like, wow, it was probably pretty neat. He said, wow. And he looked around, and he went up the long branch, and went up the top, and I said, well, he's going to make it. Yeah. Because when I found him, he wasn't, his leg was bad.
Ah.
So that's why.
That's incredible.
That's why you nursed him.
Yeah. So I figure I don't know exactly what happened, but anyway, he went up there, and then I went out, and I should go check and see if he's on there. And I went out, and I looked, I put his flashlight, and I saw his little eye still there. Well, he's still here. That's cool. Right. And then in the morning, he was gone. I looked around, and maybe he fell. I wonder if he made it. I didn't see anything. So now the sad part of the story, I'll get rid of it. 2-3 days later, my neighbor goes, hey, Tone. And he goes, his yard backed up to mine. There's a big creek back there. And he goes, that squirrel you had, did he have a big fluffy tail? And he goes, yeah. He goes, hey, dude. He didn't make it.
Oh.
I goes, where's he at? He goes, I threw him in the creek. And I thought, God darn you.
Right. Not even a good burial.
Sad story, right?
Yeah.
I blame the DNR to turn it loose. I would have had a nice pet there.
How long, Tony, do you think you had the squirrel, that you were nursing the squirrel from the time you found the squirrel to the time you were basically told, hey, you got a black market squirrel up in your house?
It was the time that I got...
Yeah, but how long did you have possession?
It started in the wintertime. It was really cold, okay? And then I was going to turn him loose, but I said, no, 4th of July, the firecrackers are going to scare him.
Wow.
So I kept him in.
I had about 8 months.
After 4th of July, that's when we turned him loose.
Wow.
He probably thought he could fly, and then he hit the ground. If I could have went out a little farther, I would have found him because I went around in the tree.
Yeah.
And he probably dehydrated. It was summertime. It was hot.
Yeah.
Died. He didn't crash that way or whatever.
Well, let's be honest. You gave him about probably 8 more months of life than he would have had.
That's nice what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be honest. Like, it's funny to me. I'm just, when you were telling the story about how you were taking care of that squirrel, Tony, I thought about you guys showing up at the tournament and getting beat down. Yeah. And then you sought like somebody that could take you to the next level.
Exactly.
And I just, it's funny that you see the relevance that you're a caretaker and really like your style, it's prepared you
You know what? That was the most humbling thing. The other place was where I went. It was all about fighting.
Yeah, just fighting. Like
There was no martial art there. There was nothing. And this is when I found out when I went there, it was very humbling in the dojo. And for me, I told Sensei, I can't afford to do all that. And he goes, it's okay. You can come train. But you know what I did? I had a bucket of water, a brush, a towel.
You earned your keep.
I washed the steps.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up to the first floor.
Wow.
That was my job.
Wow.
And I remember when remember the bridge opened up over the Chicago River?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure.
Then they did all the reconstruction. And I remember that the bridge, when it went up, you couldn't get to class on time.
Wow.
I remember that. And I come, so when you come in, you come up the dojo, you come up the steps, and you go, "Os, os, 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 os." It's a military greeting. It means a lot of things. Yes, no, or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Can you understand?
Universal.
Us?
Okay.
Yeah, universal. That's great. And just so you understand, us, right? When you come up, it's like, "Hello, Dad, I'm home. Hello, Mom, I'm leaving." Whatever, So it means a lot of things. So you come up to the top and you go, "Us," and the sensei go, "Did you hear him?" I do this now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He go, did you hear him? No, Sensei, because he told him say no. Right? He go back down, come back again. Go back down, come back up. Us, did you hear him? No, Sensei. Go back down, come back again. Jeez, that remind me when I was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Come up there, request permission to see Sergeant so-and-so. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And you're on the other side. Jeez, oh, Pete, come on.
Yeah.
You can't see him,
Yeah.
When you're back here complaining, girls.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it another time. This is what. So, JK Karate, Shotokan Karate, is military.
Love it.
Has some discipline.
That's your honor in there. So,
Love that.
So they did that. Come back, go up, but this is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Then that bridge went. I go, why are you late? I go, Sensei, the bridge. No excuse. Get there on time. No excuse. Jeez, peace, nothing. There's only one time I could say I really feel bad, and I never did it again. It was hot. Worked in the steel mills all day. Worked in a annealing, very hot department. My friend Carl, he was a truck driver, so he'd get off, and we'd always push each other to go because he'd be tired sometime, I'd be tired.
Right. Accountability, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. So he goes, okay, we're going. And I goes, Carl, I'm drained. I'm drained. So we parked behind the dojo there, and it was hot. I goes, I can't go up there and train because we had no air conditioning. Just open the windows.
Wow.
It was bloody hot, and I thought, I can't do it again. And I goes, oh, I'll go. Don't tell him I'm here now. He goes, I want to. You better not, man. So he went up and he trained. Now I should have went and trained.
Yeah.
There's no air conditioning. I'm in the back seat of that car, sweating. I'm thinking, man, I made a mistake. And I
should
feel
have just
bad.
gone in, yeah.
And I feel bad because I'm lying to Sensei. And I really feel
that's
bad
great,
about that.
Tony. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I said, no, I'll never do that one again because I suffered more in that car.
Yeah. That's instant karma.
With sweat, not a hard workout, with guilt.
Oh, that's
You know
good
saying?
too. I love it. Yeah.
And so
I thought that mental was really
so
hard.
So now when I've had some lazy students that come in here, I heard this, I heard that. I said, why are you here? Well, I come to watch. I said, you either train or you don't come in here.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that a common? Would you find yourself, Tony, to be more in line with that don't make excuses type of attitude? Because I did read that in some of your bio on your website, that the style is about, it's really about sort of, we talk a lot about accountability and sort of looking at yourself, the way to correct yourself and showing ownership is probably the best way to describe it.
You're responsible for your own actions. You're responsible for your own success. You can't blame it on the teacher. I'm there nurturing you.
That's right.
Trying to get you to learn it right. Or like our doctor here, I diagnose you, okay, take this medicine. You don't take your medicine, it's not my fault.
Right.
So I can't spoon feed you in this class. You are responsible for it. Don't blame me. I'm here, I try. My students know class is over an hour and a half. I'll teach them 20 minutes, 30 minutes longer.
Yeah.
How many favorites do you have?
I don't have any favorites. They think I do in the beginning, but then you find out they don't.
Yeah.
This just happened last night. I have a 19-year-old student. She's very smart, and she studied martial arts elsewhere, but after when she found out how I am, nobody taught her that way. But she's English, Spanish, French.
Wow.
Language. 19.
Wow.
She teaches Japanese.
Next level.
What did I say? English, Spanish, Japanese. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Because I had another one that was, I'm talking about a boy, it was French. But she's one she teaches Japanese also. I think it was great because my Japanese is terrible. All I know is karate Japanese.
Yeah,
I can't carry a
sure.
conversation on. So, but she's a sweetheart. You know, she's, you know, oh, Sensei this, Sensei, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do that, you know, and being in class, she wanted more, but she had nothing to do with her time, evidently, because Sensei, well, nobody showed up for this class, so you could teach me now, Sensei.
Yeah.
Sure.
Here's a bucket, a mop, and some water.
Yes,
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. Well, no, this is what it turns out like.
Okay,
though.
all right.
She goes, "What, Sensei? I'm a student. You want me?" I goes, "All right, I'll teach you for an hour. That's all extra. That's it.
Yeah.
And you have to come to regular beginners class now." Not another time. "Oh, Sensei, another time." Sensei. She goes, you know, if you need any help too, you know, you could do the vacuum. Oh, she's asked me a couple times about, I'll vacuum for you.
Yeah.
But this was good.
Yeah.
I'll get back to that Sugiyama on that too. And I always say, no, I do it myself. Plus, I'd rather clean it myself.
Yeah. By the way, this guy's stuff is like
immaculate.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So
a lot of feng shui too.
So and I go, you know what? She drive me nuts. Okay, go ahead, get the vacuum cleaner. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So she's happy doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she graduated out of her beginner's class. Now she's into this class.
That's where
And
the real lessons come.
Now she's not coming to class. So what's going on?
Yeah.
And then last night's class, it goes, I haven't seen you in a while. She goes, why am I doing this? He goes, you remember you said you would never quit. You'd be here every day. You'd be in the dojo all the time. He goes,
Yeah.
Now you're in a real class. It's a whole different story now.
Yeah.
She goes,
Right.
Sensei. Are you going to quit now? She says, no, Sensei. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's interesting though, the way that works, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, but hey, get to chewing.
Yeah. And you know, people come in.
They think they can win you over by saying the right things or whatever, but there's a reason why you have to stand your ground. There's a reason why you have to be the way you are in martial arts.
It's called respect.
Yeah.
And I will respect them for coming and then do this.
Yeah. And you're teaching.
I don't
That's
allow.
awesome, huh?
It is a two-way street, though,
It's a
isn't it,
two-way
Tony?
street.
Exactly. And that's like, you got to feed off each other. You got to respect each other.
Yeah.
It's like a father and son relationship.
Yeah.
You can have a bad relationship. You got a father does not respect.
But there is a hierarchy.
Yes.
There is a hierarchy, and the hierarchy itself should be respected too.
Yes.
You know, I love it. You know?
I love that.
Right.
That's awesome. So I did have another question really quick. What type of people do you instruct? Do they come from one certain lifestyle, or are there like, you know, are some of them like, you know, do you go from like a guy that works at the mill and maybe a lawyer or a doctor or stuff like that? Is there all the way around all types of people?
It's true. Yeah. But then again, because I've taught professional people in Chicago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I teach over here. I have steel workers and people that are working blue collar.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's a little different. So up there, I'm teaching this way, that way. Then also you find out, because I didn't do the teaching up there. Sugiyama did. I always did everything. But he asked me one time to teach private lessons. Okay. I goes, I don't like private lessons. He didn't like private lessons.
Really?
He goes, but there's people that want it.
There are.
They got money, you know. They don't want to be with the other class.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll do that. But then I found out those people, they want everything right away. Their money pays for it. And I'm trying to teach them the right way, and they don't have time.
Sure. That's such a great point.
Now, you're wasting my time, my energy. I can be giving to somebody else. I don't need your money.
I love it because there's some things you can't buy, right?
Exactly.
You have to earn this.
Exactly.
You can't buy a black belt from Tony.
So there goes my honor,
Yeah.
my integrity, it bothers me.
It means something to you,
and that's
Tony.
my problem now, my whole life. But it's let's get to this.
Yeah.
The Corona.
Yeah. Okay.
That's. I can go back up just a little bit more. When I first opened up my first karate school, Sugiyama, not Nishiyama. Nishiyama's different. Sugiyama Sensei, I go, Sensei, me and Carl, we want to open a school, and, I'm not a businessman. I don't know what to do, but we do want to open our own school. That's when he told us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I tried to tell you. Did I say that before when he said, how many, remember I said we were going to be teaching in those days in the other school?
Tuesdays
We were going to come back to
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
Now
got
we're
back
back
to
Here
it.
we are.
Here we are. I told you we'd come back to it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So he said, well, how many students you have now? I go, we got about 12. Our own students.
Wow.
He goes, okay, now time to go open your own school. You can't open a school and there's no students in there.
Wow.
Somebody has to pay the rent. But you have your students.
Yeah.
And that's how we started in 1971. We
Wow.
opened our own school.
Wow.
And then we parted later on in life, and he went his way. I continue my way. He's also passed away. But anyway, then I got to get back to where we was at just a second ago. You can remember everything.
Well,
I jumped
back. I got another quick question though.
Okay.
So now, when you started your own school, are you an official black belt? By the time you started your own school.
When I started my own school, and Carl,
Yeah.
we were not black belts officially. We were called Kari Shodan. That's Sensei thing.
What's that mean?
Because temporary.
Okay.
We were qualified
Yeah.
as far as he was concerned, but at that time and era, you only took black belt tests once a year.
Wow.
Dang.
Very strict.
Yeah.
Well, again, this kind of goes with everything we've been talking about.
So-
yeah, that's crazy.
He said, you can wear your black belt in your dojo. I give you permission.
Wow.
I'm the regional director.
And that means something, right?
Yes.
It does.
But if you go to a tournament, you have to put your brown belt on.
Okay.
You're a brown belt.
Yeah.
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 So that made you legitimate. He gave you permission. You could teach. You have the qualification of
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
But, okay, and don't have no license to teach yet, but he gave it to, he's a regional director. And that's kind
That's
of
how
like
it-
how
okay.
it worked. So then,
So how long does it take to get from when you are finally a black belt to like 3rd degree black belt for you?
that's different. Let's just start right at first.
Okay. Yeah.
Shodan. You asked me something about
Yep.
Shodan
Yeah.
before. Did you ask me what Dan meant?
Yeah. I
Yes.
asked you what Dan meant. Yeah. Early on, I didn't know what it meant.
Dan,
Yeah.
Shodan. Dan just means ranking.
Okay.
Okay.
That's your rank. That's your ranking. So every nationals they did the test
Okay.
when I was doing this for Shodan. And we had a tournament in Palatine, LaGrange. Anyway,
Somewhere in
in
Illinois?
Illinois,
Okay.
yeah. And we fought in that. Well, first I went to take my first Shodan test. It was in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Mr. Okazaki from Philadelphia was there. We had the tournament, the regional tournament there. That's when we had that test there. I flunked.
Oh yeah.
You flunked.
Yeah, I flunked.
What degree was this one?
That's for Shodan.
So is that
That's your first black belt.
your first
Wow.
black belt? Okay.
So,
Shodan, first black belt. Okay.
and I flunked. And I was disappointed because me and Carl, we drove down there. I had 1968.
Man.
1968, I think it was something like that. Because I had a 1968 Roadrunner. We drove
Wow.
down there. So I don't know
But
when
you
it
got
was.
there
But I
fast.
did have a 60. Yeah, you're right. And I went home slow, disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Licking my wounds. I'm thinking, this ain't fair because I thought I was better than this guy. So this is how you
Yeah,
thinking.
you're making. That's how human. That's how we
Remember
think,
the
Tony.
excuses?
Yeah.
I was making, I said, I was mad. So I said, that's it. So what it did, flunking made me better.
Say it again, Sensei Tony.
Flunking made me better.
There you go. I love it. That's the kick. Flunking
I-
made me better.
I started training harder. I
love it.
Wilder,
That's really
remember
cool.
the Wilder, the lifting weight
Yeah.
things? They had these bigs. This was back then.
Yeah.
Now they got weights in bags like the old cloghopper Frankenstein shoes. I put them on. I trained with them on. I ran with a 25-pound vest on my butt. I worked out hard. So I'm going to take my next test was going to be in Philadelphia.
Wow.
In Mr. Okazaki's dojo. So train hard. Train hard. And we went to this tournament, and it was Hershey High School in Illinois. That's where it was at. And this was the toughest guy. I'm getting into something you were going to ask, I think. This is the toughest guy I ever fought.
Yep.
He's a big man. Back then, even now.
No weight classes.
No weight class.
And what do you come in at this time? You're about what, 5'7", 5'8"?
No,
You're 5'6". How much did you weigh?
I think I strength on right.
How much did you weigh?
At that time, probably about 150 pounds.
And you're going up against
this. He's a big guy. Yeah, he's got big hands. He's big. He's looking this way. He was in Sensei's dojo. He started. He started in his dojo junkie school. He came same time from and Mr. Rogers, his instructor's name was. But anyway, he came to Sugiyama when me and Carl came. So we became friends. We trained in a dojo. So
now you're going up against this guy.
Yeah, we went. And Mr. Norfield, he's a Chicago policeman. He's a really great guy. I knocked him out. And then
contact does come into place.
That's the
It happens.
It's not intentionally because I went on because it was his fault coming in.
Gotcha.
Oh, he made a mistake.
It wasn't me hitting him. Yeah. But anyway, and I really felt bad about that because he was my friend. I never knocked anybody out in my life. Yeah. And he went down and thank God, I was like, I was worried because he was out. And Mr. Sugiyama was refereeing, and he seen me worried. He goes, "Turn around," really mean, like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? In the way when he just did. So I just turned around, and that was fine. Then I had to win and fight Mr. Gonzalez. We went overtime.
Wow.
This is what I'm talking about. My hardest fight is we went overtime, and he won in the decision. The overtimes, I think there was 4.
Wow.
I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know.
Smokes.
And I couldn't hardly breathe anymore.
Yeah.
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
But
you guys are going 100% the whole time.
But I really beat him.
Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah. Sometimes you have judges.
Yeah,
his sensei was a corner judge. Oh. He's got 4 corner judges. So not everybody can see him. You're getting around this way.
Yeah.
And I nailed him really good here. And
no point.
We call that home cooking. That's what we call that.
That's what they call.
But to this day, me and Joe know the truth.
Yeah.
But I have a photo of that punch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a point.
It was captured
going like this. Yeah. So I do have the proof. It wasn't no story.
I love it. Yeah. Instant replay. The original.
The original.
Yeah, I do know. So then
35 millimeter.
I was elected. We had a team, and because of that, I got to go to participate in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's awesome.
Representing this region.
Okay. Wow.
And then that's where I took my test there, and all that hard work, what I was talking about, then I ended up passing my Shodan test. And it was really rough because Mr. Yaguchi from Japan, he didn't do it anything in English. It was all Japanese. So you have to do this. 2 guys went before me and the other 2 guys. 2 guys go at a time. And we're thinking, wow, because he was chewing out these other 2 guys. You don't understand. Next time I do it, you don't know. You flunk.
Wow.
The only English word he knows.
Yeah, flunk.
Flunk. Like you're fired.
Yeah, Yaguchi is the chief instructor of Colorado right now. He's still living. He's in his 80s.
Wow.
But they're all the Japanese from Japan was there. And this was an AAU tournament also. It's the first one.
Okay.
And along with the AAKF. There was a combined thing. Yeah. So it was a big deal. And I remember all those guys sitting at a big long table watching. It was spooky, but I trained hard, so ended up I did well. But me and the other guy, we had to really pay attention, and I never focused so hard in my life.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to flunk again.
No.
So anyway, that's story.
Awesome.
I know I'm talking too much.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So from that point to the 7th degree, is how much time passes? Years.
Yeah, well, First of all, you know what a black belt is?
Tell me.
To me,
Okay.
is a beginner white belt.
When we're talking
Starting over.
man.
Yeah.
So you went through your Q ranks. You know, there's 9 of them, and some of the styles have different things. But you know, it says white, yellow, blue, green, blue, purple, blah, 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 different degrees. Then you go through 3 browns, 3, 2, 1. Then you go to Dan rankings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
And you're in 7th, Dan.
Yeah, the 7th. But I should be in 8th because I took an 8-year break.
Oh man.
Remember,
Wow.
I was doing because rank wasn't chasing rank. I just wanted to
That's
learn
great.
right. Okay,
That's awesome.
so when remember I told you that guy running,
Yeah.
and I hit him in here, I ended up beating him.
Yeah.
Okay, that got me running. That's the area where I was at.
Yeah.
My son was a professional triathlete.
Wow.
And my son said, "Dad, you gotta keep running. You got friends in karate. You have new friends in
So
running."
wait, you mean the story you told Jay's wife earlier, where the guy that got you into the marathons or running a marathon?
Yeah,
You were telling. Okay, all right. I apologize. I
Not
was
getting
just
me
making
to
sure.
run in a marathon. It was just running that race, that
Oh.
12-miler
Okay.
from Porties
yes.
to there.
Oh, the VIP.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Gotcha.
So that's how that happened. And then my son said, "You got to keep doing it." So I ended up running, and
And how many marathons did you run? It's a lot.
either 6 or 8. I don't remember.
Yeah, he goes, Tony, you go all in.
This is what I.
Yeah.
On the way here, I said, Tony, you've lived the life, because there's certain things that I read in here that I didn't realize Tony had done. Like he works, or you retired 30 years at the mill, right?
51 years old, I retired.
That's incredible. Unheard of, by the way.
You know that you talk about the USW, I think it was.
Yes.
So I saw that on
Career
his.
development, we taught there at the
Sure.
UST.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
And I realized it was you two had that in common. That's what.
Yes, for both you.
I did on Wednesdays,
members.
like karate demonstrations
Uh-huh.
for. It was called Bethlehem Steel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done some at Northwestern University. I mean, the list.
I know,
is
and it's
crazy.
listed on his website. Like all of the
Yes.
things, Tony, you've been involved in. It's
Yeah,
impressive.
It's super impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was. You were talking about that. Remember, I said when we first opened our school.
Yeah.
I says, "Well, what do we do?" And I don't know nothing about it. He goes, "Okay, Mr. Milevsky." He goes, "If you open up a school and you do contracts, you're gonna make a lot of money." Okay, so well, what do you mean? He goes, "Well, you could be like me. You'd be a teacher. You're not gonna make a lot of money."
Right.
And this is what caught me. He goes, "But you can walk down the street with integrity."
Oh, I love that. And I can tell, Tony, like I'm listening to you describe businessmen, but I can tell that your belts, and Junior said it earlier, they're not for sale. You know, because let's face it, a lot of times systems in life are designed to make people feel like they're making progress in order to continue to take money from them.
This is what people fall in the wrong thing. They really should do the research before they go into school, because all martial arts are good. It's about the practitioner and the instructor.
Yeah, sure.
So when people lure their people in to make money, they're not teaching them. And what they're doing is they're downgrading karate. And then a person like me and other guys that really work hard to do it the right way.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
And they give them a bad name.
Yeah.
And they don't know until they walk into school. And everybody wants everything immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why it takes
that's right.
2.5 to 5 years to make a black belt with me. And I haven't had any make it in 2.5 years.
Sure.
When you go on the list of people that have made black belts with Tony, and he's been doing it since 65, 67.
Yeah.
It's
not
a very
very
short
big.
list.
It's not
very big.
It's a
wow.
very short list. There's not a lot of people. So that is one of the things that resonated with me, is we talked about, like, when you appreciate something, you know, you have to learn how to appreciate what you're working for.
Sure.
And Tony and I, right before we came up, we had that same conversation in the kitchen where, you know, there has to be that appreciation for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if you give somebody something too soon, they might not appreciate it as much. So
Right.
that resonated with me
Right.
a lot.
And that's a reflection of him.
yeah.
like later on, that person is a representative of your lineage.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's too important to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Legacy is important.
A lot of times
Yes.
people come in. Well, I just had a 63-year-old Will Johnson came in the dojo 2 months ago. Stood there, big tall guy. He goes, "Well, Sensei." Look at him. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm looking. I goes, "I know you. Yeah, Sensei, you taught me. Oh, what's your name? Sensei, I don't believe you don't remember." Anyway, he was 15 years old when I taught him.
Yeah. That's
He's
crazy.
big.
Yeah. Hey, you're a grown man now. Back up.
I'm coming here and I'm going to train again with you. And
Wow.
the nice thing is what you're kind of like saying, that what makes me feel the money
Yeah.
is when when we're talking, because we're going to talk and we're going to sign him up again, all that. We're talking because I always remember what you said to me, blah, 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 blah. That's why I liked about you and you respected you.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm back here again now. And I get people that come in to come for a funeral or a wedding. They moved away.
They
always
come back to you. That's so good.
And that you hear that sometimes about regular school teachers. There are, like anything, there's people that got the teacher's job or whatever
That's
job
right.
they got, but they're not really teachers. They're there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in where they really, really work with somebody, and that's the real teacher. You know what I'm trying to say?
Someone who's experienced personal growth through you,
And,
Tony.
and
They're
I
connected.
told my wife, I got many postcards. I got Father's Day get called, Sensei this, Sensei that. Now we're going through this bad thing times here. I can hardly keep my dojo open. I'm paying big money to keep the dojo open. Don't have any money coming in.
Right.
All of a sudden, I get a phone call. Sensei, how's the dojo doing?
Yeah.
Not doing good. Then all of a sudden, I get a check. And that was payment for that time. They remembered what you did for them.
Yeah, that's incredible.
The Lord takes care of you. That's the way I look at
Amen.
it.
I love that you said that, Tony. And I knew you. I could tell it. I could tell it was all over you anyway. Yeah.
My whole life has never been anybody money about that.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do contracts at his gym.
No,
Yeah.
that's money. You
Yeah.
make contracts, you make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. We're changing a person's life, and it's not about fighting.
Yeah, Tony, this
they
is
come
golden
in.
stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's
It's your compensation. You don't get me wrong. You got to eat.
Yeah,
You got to feed it whatever
Well, that's
animal you're
right.
gonna save tomorrow. But
That's right. I got a new. Well, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. Well, he wouldn't want to look at it. I'm getting a new landlord.
yeah, I'm sure.
And I just talked to him yesterday, and I goes, I'm leaving. He goes, I know. I goes, the other guy, blah 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 blah. And he said this, and he goes, Tony, I goes, I'm just a bad businessman. I mean, I just, he goes, so am I.
Yeah, you're just not a sellout,
So
Tony.
he's making.
You're a
He's
great
giving.
person.
I finally found somebody that understands me.
Yeah, how
He's
awesome
a
is that?
Pop Warner coach in Illinois. He owns this
Yeah,
building that I'm going to, and he goes, so am I. And I thought, yeah, because you lowered the rent. I'm really high here, and you understand me. So I'm glad
Nice.
I finally met him. So
Right, that's awesome.
the Lord brought me in, and so I'm connected with this guy. So I only got so many years left. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so no contract. He's let me have it month. So that's finally I got another break here.
Yeah.
So to keep teaching, because when they come in, I get a 9. I start at 8. I lowered that about 6 years ago, but it was always 9, 9, 9. So every time somebody comes in, 4, 5, 6, 5 years, 7-year-olds, I turn away that because I know I can't teach them right.
Sure.
We're not playing a game in here. I'm not a babysitter.
Right.
I'm not being mean.
Yeah.
But I want them to learn
When's
the
little
right
Johnny
way.
going to be able to break a board? I can only
Yeah.
imagine what I can tell you.
I haven't broke a board since that old school I was in.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Don't break some boards.
So
they don't fight
have-
back.
What are those boards though that you do have at your? What are they called?
Makiwara.
Okay, so those things, because I don't know how
Training
to pronounce that.
apparatus.
Training apparatus. So he's like, all right, there's levels, right? So there's like the beginner level, which is the first board, and then
Nope.
no.
They're all the same. I just got different boards, got different resistance.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I didn't know that. So I hit the first one, and I thought I broke my knuckle.
Oh, man.
Then he goes to the last one. He's like, yeah, this one probably has the most resistance, and he smashes that thing. So I go up, and I'm just like tick I was like, yeah, I don't think so, because
Yeah.
I had already split my knuckle on the first one. Yeah. I've seen him do some really cool stuff. If you had a mirror in here and he goes to strike that, like, you know, just throws a strike, literally fog goes on the mirror. I know that sounds crazy,
that's
but
his exaggeration.
It's a little. Yeah.
I never seen it.
That's why I told him that last time he threw a punch.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
oh man, so
That's so cool.
yeah. I get a chance to every once in a while when he stops by the shop, and I get to talk to Tony. I get to listen to these amazing stories, and I get to like experience that knowledge. And he drops those gold nuggets.
Yeah, he dropped them today. He dropped several.
He did, yeah.
And I don't even know, like, people who do have a gift to do it, Tony, I don't think they always realize that they're doing it.
Yes.
Okay, but like, we're in the mode in life where we want nuggets like that, and we're like hyper aware when people are dropping them.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Your stories are beautiful.
When you share the knowledge, and we're hungry, and that's what we like. And you do that for me, and I appreciate that. And I wanted I want people to see that, and I want them to experience your story. I want them to experience your legacy. You're important in my life, and I know that your school right now is struggling, and you know this is hard times. And he's not the type of guy that's gonna go out and But if you want legit training, and you want to be trained by a 7th Dan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone that's really like worked in his craft and is a true martial artist. I mean, we didn't even get to the story about his bird. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
What's your bird's name?
Tori.
Okay, the video footage is crazy.
Big yellow head.
Yeah,
Parrot.
Yeah,
That's another story.
We got to get that one next time.
Yeah, we
next
will.
time. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll definitely get that story because that's a good stuff.
That's a big one too.
Yeah, Tony, I believe you're going to come out of this Corona fire in better shape than ever. I believe you, because people like you who purposely live their life, you make everything work for you, and the Lord does too. You know that, and you already mentioned it. So it was awesome having you here today, Tony. And what we usually do at the end is, and we'd like for you to say your name, is my name is Jay Wakasey.
I'm Fernando Lopez Jr.
And I'm Tony Milevsky.
And this has been
the Mental Edge Podcast.
We out.
Well, all right. That'll just about wrap it up. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mental Edge Podcast. Your host, Fernando Lopez Jr.
Oh, he's so handsome.
And his trusty sidekick, Jay Wakasey.
Hey, that's me.
Seriously appreciate you spending time with us tonight. Remember, if you like this content, the most flattering thing you can do is like and share.